come on, when rates are going up and inflation is scary, like it's just accelerating so much, people are struggling with cash flow, right? And now a lot of people are being taken care of in terms of their financial health right now. We've given a lot of amazing solutions to these people, and it's just nice. It's just nice to be in this space when for like 9 months it's been really, really depressing and frustrating for a lot of Canadians.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to In the House podcast. I'm Tony Singh.
And I'm Jenny Woon.
And we have a special guest joining us virtually today, Ms. Bernadette Laxamana, founder of Karista Mortgage. Welcome to our show.
Welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This is exciting. Thank you.
Yeah, because normally you have other people in the hot seat, right?
Yes, I know. So it's nice to be the one being interviewed.
Yeah, for sure. So for those of you that haven't met Bernadette yet, Bernadette is an award-winning mortgage broker. I know that you're also the recipient of multiple times the Broker of the Year award winner, president and founder of Karista Mortgage. I know you told me beforehand not to say these things because you're a bit shy, but we're going to do it anyhow. This is an amazing accomplishment. You have around 250 five-star Google reviews from satisfied clients and customers. And you're also a best-selling author, leader, mother. For me personally, I know you as just an overall amazing powerhouse being with your hat in many different areas. And so we really wanted you to speak to our audience today. We're going to kick us off with our icebreaker question.
Okay.
Yes. Our icebreaker question for you is, what is your spirit animal?
Oh, apparently it's a hummingbird.
Oh, did you do, hummingbird actually comes up with me a lot, but was there a recent encounter with a hummingbird?
No, I attended an event and there's this woman who was giving everybody the reading about what our spirit animal is. And she told me it's a hummingbird because I'm like so tiny and I like moving so much too fast.
Yes.
I can be sitting in one place, but something's happening so fast.
Yeah.
Probably my brain or whichever, or my energy. So
yeah, your total energy. Tony kind of wrapped it up very nicely with all the accolades and awards, but it takes a lot of work to do what we do. Why don't you tell our listeners about your journey and how you got started in the business?
Oh, yeah. So I was working for Canadian Western Bank about over 20 years ago. And it was funny, something to do with the universe. I was an account manager. And before that, the person who told me that I should be a mortgage broker is my first boss in Canada in 1996. She hired me within 1 month of landing in Canada. And then eventually she became a mortgage broker and she told me I should be a mortgage broker. And I go, what the heck is a mortgage broker? She said, just take it. You'll be good at it. I'm like, okay. So I took it. And as I was taking the course, the owner of a mortgage brokerage firm called me and said, when you're done, reach out to me because we're hiring. I'm like, okay. And after I was done, I freaked out. I said, oh, crap, I can't do this. Salary to commission. That was freakishly scary. Mother, I'm a mother and I have a mortgage and what have you. But the universe intervened because as an account manager, I was asked to call mortgage brokers, and there were 5 of us. Get this, there was 5 of us, and this list was divided among 5 of us. And who was on my list? The woman who called me. and then I interviewed her and told her why she should be working with our bank and stuff like that. And then at the end of the interview, I told her, you called me. And she says, why? Because about the mortgage broker thing. I said, what are you doing wasting your time in the bank? So, long story short, she got me convinced that I should do it. And I was so scared. I borrowed money from my mom and said, please give me $25,000 because I didn't want to have commission breath. I'd like to just give the best solution to the client and not worry about the money. Thank God I didn't have to use it. I did well in my first year. I made more money in my first year than when I was working at the bank. And it just became better from there. So, yeah.
Now, obviously, it's not easy. I've experienced a lot of adversity as well. And throughout all these years, I'm just wondering if there was any challenges or any stories that you can share of a woman in the mortgage business.
Well, yeah. So as a woman in the mortgage brokerage world, it's certainly dominated by men. And so for me, like, it's really hard for me to operate in a male environment because from the bank, I heard a comment that I wouldn't be successful because I'm a short Asian woman. So that was the comment. And then in the mortgage world, I don't have connections and whatever because I came to Canada in 1996. So I was landed immigrant on my own. So in the mortgage world, it's really hard to play in the same space as Caucasian men and that. So, but you know what's amazing about it is all I had to do was take care of the client. If I don't have to worry about the politics, and I think that was the one thing that made me successful, because when I worry too much about the politics, then that really messes me up. But when I worry about the client, I stop worrying about all the other stuff. Does that make
You can
sense?
swear on this podcast.
So that's what it was. Especially because in the Philippines, we are not allowed to speak up and what have you. And I had experiences back home where I was like, suppressed.
It was a cultural
all of that
thing too, right?
It was a cultural thing in the Philippines. It's a cultural thing in the Middle East when I went to the Middle East. So it was just that type of environment. It was so difficult to break out of that.
So how did you find your voice then? Breaking out of those rules that were kind of set up for you, how did you break through it?
Avoidance? No. So again, with me, I just chose environments where I am free to speak. And the environments where I am free to speak is in front of my clients, because I can just be me. I can just focus on their needs and all of that. And then over time, I've developed friendships with, I call them gentlemen. I find I operate well in an environment where there's gentlemen, but when I am faced in an environment when it's kind of oppressive, then
or ego
I don't thrive.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so you have, like I had mentioned at the beginning, you have your hand in so many different amazing things. But to summarize for our audience, you have your own mortgage company where you're dealing directly with clients. You also are a the broker owner as well, technically, right, of Karista Mortgage.
Yes.
And we want us to share with you about our book, which is going to be the main part of our discussion. But in relation to running the brokerage itself and also managing your clients, how is your team structured and how do you motivate and hold your team accountable? Because I know that you're really big on leadership.
Yes. So the great thing about us, it's really a total team environment. I think it starts with purpose. Everybody is aligned on what their purpose is to make a positive, lasting difference. It starts with that. And then we know we have our core values. And so we use that in our interactions with one another and with our clients, which is excellence through caring, humble confidence, ongoing innovation, going above and beyond. And so with all of that, we couple plus our routines. I think it's the routines that matter the most. So I have one-on-one meetings with my teammate, bi-weekly one-on-ones, and we have our weekly team meetings. And then we also have our times when we just do our thing as a team, break bread and do stuff together as a team. Like those rhythms and rituals are the things I think that make a huge difference. And then those moments when after my one-on-one and I see a pattern, we just meet together as a team and say, hey, I see this pattern. Can we come up with a solution together? And there was one time where it took us a couple of hours to detangle a lot of things. Sometimes the issue is easy and quick, but sometimes it could be hairy. But I find that the one-on-one communication and then the team meetings, those are the key things that help a lot. And of course, once in a while, you have, fun activities as a team. In fact, we have one plan on April 18th. We're going on a spa trip at Tainamara.
Oh, in Parkville.
You have
love that space.
Yeah. So we have the dine and dip, dip and dine or whatever.
Ooh.
You go on a spa and you have a soak, you have a spa, and then you have this 16-course meal together.
Wow.
So things like that I think it makes a huge difference as a team.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you were talking about a book. What is your book all about?
Yeah. So the book is basically it's called Ordinary Parents, Extraordinary Wealth, and I think this book is about a regular couple, a nurse and a team lead who works in a manufacturing, and their journey towards real estate investing. It's really a story about how they started with one property, and then from one property they had so much debts and they couldn't manage financially, and there was this stories about how they handled that. And then from there, they're able to realize that they could use that to multiply their wealth. And then after that journey, they were able to teach other people to do the same thing.
So are the characters, are the couple fiction or nonfiction?
Or is it based on clients?
Or is it nonfiction?
Client.
Okay.
It's really big. So I just changed the interaction. So there are moments when there's a family dynamic when they're talking with their children, and it's funny because some of them is really me and how my dynamic with my kids.
Well, my next question was: is it about you?
The journey is about an actual client, but the story about the family dynamic is me and my family and whatnot. So it's really funny. There's this clash between mother and daughter. It was real. That happened between me and my daughter. So that's the story.
So in speaking about things like, real estate investing and this book as well, what would be the three main points or pillars that stand behind the book in terms of setting somebody up for success? I think that our audience would really love to hear that. Can you share?
Yes. Yeah. So basically, I think in anything in life, there's, I think, three main ingredients, right? In order to succeed in anything you want to achieve. First is hunger. You have to have this driving hunger inside you. I think the difference between somebody who's achieved this much and somebody who didn't is this person has deeper hunger. This person wants it more than this person. That's a big one. And then the second thing is mindset. Doesn't matter if you want it, if there's, your belief and your outlook in life is just plain negative or can't do, and again, it's not going to work. And then finally, you have to have the right strategy, right? So you have to know the right strategy, the right order, how you do things. And those are the basic three ingredients. And that's what's talked about in the book. So first, it's about knowing what you want, your purpose, right? So the power of why. I think we've heard a lot about that. And once you know your why, you can achieve so many things. So there's that. I focus on that in the first part of the book, and that's how you would hear the couple how they got to where they got to because they had the struggle that they were going through. And so that the why came up very strongly for them. And then the mindset, there's different mindset topics in there, and the mental blocks that's just stopping them from embracing what they really wanted. And so there was that. And then finally, once they got through that stuff, then there's the strategies that I talk about in the book when it comes to investing. So those were the key things.
Those are awesome. Three key things. The strategy obviously can be, it's a skill, or maybe you can have some sort of mentorship that will help give you some insight to lay out the plans. The mindset, you either have it or if you don't have it, I think there's a bit of coaching that may come into the play. But I want to ask about hunger, because is hunger nature or nurture? Like, is that something that someone is born with, like almost like motivation? Or can you actually like trim someone to be more hungry?
I believe that you can trim someone to be hungry, because sometimes if they are not exposed to it and they're nurtured to want that, then they'll just get stuck to what they think they should want, if that makes sense. I should only stay here because, wanting more, I can't because it's selfish, greedy, So it's very, very important. I think that that's nurtured, because if we just have it like innate, that hunger, people can seriously think that's their baseline forever and ever and ever. Yeah. I think, and the reason I say that is 90% of our clients go through our webinars. And once they understand why this is important for them, they're like all in, right. So in the beginning though, they're like, I have clients who said, I'm not interested in investing. I just want to renew my mortgage. Next thing you know, they have 4 properties and their net worth is 2.5 million. But if you just let nature take its course, when they said, no, this is fine. Right. I think they would have just remained. Yeah.
Almost like setting yourself up in the right environment, which you mentioned earlier when you were younger.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off, Tony.
No, I had 2 comments actually. The first, I love what you said about deeper hunger though as well. Is that something, like, when did you know for yourself that deeper hunger in relation to your mortgage business was incredibly apparent to you? Was it after you became licensed, before, or was it during your first year?
What it was is I did a lot of meditation, I think, and when I became a mortgage broker, that jump, from salary to that, I was meditating a lot, and and I had this question when I'm like 9 years old, and I'll look back at this time, would I regret not trying? And the answer was so glaringly loud, yes, I would. And so I said, okay, I'm going to do this. And even that, wanting my mom, like, nobody told me to do any of that. Yeah. Like, borrow from mom, have the money, don't have commission breath. Nobody told me that. And it was all through the meditation and prayers that I was doing, like, have this, that, and have this, that, and have all that. And then, as I keep meditating, the desires that what do I really, really want? And I'm glad you asked me this question, because this is very important for a lot of women to hear. There are moments I feel guilt about the desires that I have, because it's sometimes freaking huge, man, right? Like, why would you want that? Like, I've had people say, why would you want more of that? Like, can't you just be content, And then as I meditated, I'm like, I think I realized that the bigger my dream, the more the desires that I have, the more impact I have in the world, right? Because if my dream is here, I only need to be this big as a woman, as a person, as a leader, as a contributor in the universe. But if my desire is this big, man, I gotta step up. I gotta grow to be the woman, to be the leader that can create that. And I need a bigger team with me. this small dream, I can do it on my own, man. No problem. There's less growth. It's so comfortable. I don't have to expose myself. But if it's this big, yeah, I gotta grow. People have to grow with me. The impact is going to be bigger. The number of people that I am helping now compared to that small dream, it's not. It's like 100x. So yeah, that's how it is when it comes to deeper hunger. It just, and hopefully as women, we'll keep feeding that hunger. Because the day we stop feeding that hunger, I think that's when we slowly die and like shrivel. So that's what happens to me. Somebody said, "Why can't you be content, Bernadette?" I'm like, "I'm going to try this."
Well, that's because they are limiting their own beliefs that they can do it. So I'm glad you didn't listen to whoever's telling you all this, because that just irks me that they have to contribute their negativity and limiting beliefs on you. What are you currently working on now? Like, what are you growing at the moment?
Well, as you know, the industry the projection is the industry is going to be smaller than this year, than last year.
Are you referring to volume of sales or
volume?
Okay,
volume. So they're projecting that the story is going to be lower. We're still wanting to grow compared to last year, so we're bringing that on. We'll see how that goes, and the bigger dream is to 10x where we are at in terms of 10xing that. It would be great if we can do that. And what is helping is the time horizon. I think if I give myself 10 years to 10x, I'll probably be less crazy, fanatical, weird. so that's where we are at as a team with that. But I believe in big and this 1 year focus. So the 1 year focus is really to grow bigger than last year, which I think is still going to be a challenge.
And sorry,
in this environment.
When you say grow, you mean in terms of dealing with more client volume, correct? And did you mean your team as well, like both growing together?
I think the volume first,
Okay.
And then the growing the team is probably going to happen. I'm going to start looking at that next. Let's see if it's next year.
Yeah.
Right now is the volume with the current team that we have.
So I wanted to touch on something that you mentioned earlier. You were talking about the webinars that you've offered to, I guess, potential clients, and then these people have become your longstanding clients. I'm curious if you could share an amazing success story of one of your clients that you met. Maybe they didn't own a property yet. They did the webinar, and then you kind of coached them to multiply their net worth. Can you share an example? You don't need to give the clients' names, but I think it would be inspirational.
Yes. So basically, this is the story of a client who came to us and said, "My mortgage is up for maturity, and I want to talk about options." And they said, "Oh, attend our webinar." And she says, "No, I'm not interested in purchasing investment properties," and just attend anyway. And then so from there, he heard a story of a successful client who did this, and this client, once that hunger was sparked in him, within 2 years, he bought 4 rental properties. and then the beautiful part of it is he became like the inspiration for a lot of our investors. And so they all said, "I want to be like him, be like him." He said the name, just like Michael Jordan. I want to be like Michael Jordan when it comes to investing. And he became the inspiration for a lot of our clients. And now from there, we have more and more clients who are like, "Yeah, I'm like him now." And then from there, there's even one client who said, "I wanted to be like Michael." And then he taught his brother how to do it. Now the 2 brothers own 5 properties.
Wow.
And these people net worth, I kid you not, are like 2.5 million. right now.
That's amazing.
And they wouldn't be. They said, Bernadette, I wouldn't have this if I just kept at my one property way back then. So
I would
yeah.
imagine every client's ability to invest is different. And so you might have to curate certain plans to them. But when you say in this example, 4 rental properties in 2 years, that's quite amazing. Are you talking about maximizing home equity line of credits for existing properties, or do they have to actually generate the income, like the down payment, all on their own? Because that's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love that you said that. This is actually one of the principles in the book. So they've all did not touch their cash.
Mm-hmm.
They used the equity in their first home to purchase those properties. And what we told them, they do have the money. And I said to them, cash is king. Let the equity work in your favor. Keep the money that you have so that in case of emergency. And I said, I don't know about the two of you ladies, but for me, if I have this much money in my bank account, I would operate in a different level than if I just sucked all of that and put it here. So the confidence level of those people are way better because they did not touch their cash. So all of these people, they did not touch their cash. And now they're $2.5 million richer because they use the HELOC, the power of their equity they use leverage pretty much to multiply their property. I call them multipliers because apparently in Canada, only 4% of Canadians own 2 or more properties and only 1% own 4 or more. So we teach people to become multipliers.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Where are these webinars found for our listeners to get to?
Yes. So you can find them at our website, www.karista.ca.
Where's that name from?
Oh, yes. So when I started the company, I told you guys I meditate a lot and I hear voices. People think I'm weird. I hear voices. And so I said, I did not want an English name. I wanted something in a different language. And so as I was meditating, this is a Greek name. And charis means caring and arista means excellence. That's hence Karista. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about mortgages and rates. A little bit more of a, I guess, drier economic question here.
Yes.
What are you seeing right now on the lending end? Where do you anticipate rates going for the rest of the year? Because we were in this crazy rapid fire rate 7 or 8 times last year. So where is it going now for this year?
Well, as we all know, there's the Bank of Canada meeting happening on April the 12th. The markets is pricing an 80% chance that the rate's going to stay the same. And now with what's been happening with in the U.S. with those banks failing, and I think the government has realized that they've swung the pendulum too far to the other side. So now what markets are pricing is there will be a couple of rate drops this year towards the end of the year and a few more next year. The good thing that's happening right now, a lot of clients that have variable rate mortgages, even the fixed rate mortgages have dropped significantly. And so we are able to help more and more people get out of this 60% of people are struggling with cash flow right now. And now we're being able to help structure them. Come on, when rates are going up and inflation is scary, like it's just accelerating so much, people are struggling with cash flow, right? And now a lot of people are being taken care of in terms of their financial health right now. And there's so much that are being relieved with what's happening with interest rates. And so we've given a lot of amazing solutions to these people. And it's just nice. It's just nice to be in this space when for like 9 months, it's been really, really depressing and frustrating for a lot of Canadians.
I have a question just in regards to what you had said. So let's say, for example, I'm a client of yours. And let's say, for example, I'm in that 60% that's struggling with cash flow problems. What's the process? So if I came to you and I said, Bernadette, I'm struggling right now. My mortgage is increased. I have tons of equity in my property. What would the next steps be? Yeah.
Yes, a great question. So the next step would be to sit down and book a quick call with us.
Mhm.
And basically from there, we can analyze their financial situation, see where the equity in their home is at, what are all the payments that they're going through, and then come up with a solution for them. For example, this one client, we saved them $2,500 per month.
Wow, that's a lot.
Insane. Insane. Because a lot of people are thinking there's no way out. Like I can't. Like they just the thought of refinancing or using the equity, the 70% of Canadians have not even thought of refinancing their home.
Mhm.
And you hear 60% of Canadians struggling financially. There's a miseducation, misinformation that is happening in that side. So I think it's a good idea for people to explore their options and not think there's no way out. Like inflation is crazy, rates are crazy. There's nothing nothing that's going to happen that's good for me right now. That's it. Until prime rate starts dropping, there's nothing that I can do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening.
That's an empowering way to look at it. Thank you for mentioning that.
Mhm.
We are curious what the next 3 years look like for Bernadette. So I know you said you've got big goals for the next year and we're kind of future pacing it, but the next 3 years, what does life look like for you?
I really think like for now, the focus is really my team and how to grow that. I have this number that I have in my head about the volume, and forgive me for not sharing that number because Deepak Chopra said, do not share it with everyone and just keep it to yourself. So I do have this big target that I'm hoping that I can hit in 3 years' time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping. You see, it's. I see the number in front of me, and so it's just a matter of the people that I'm going to be needing in order to create that result.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's the what and the why. And the why is really to be able to serve more people, and the vision of growing our team,
Mm-hmm.
multiplying the team that we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
And what sets your team apart from any other mortgage team that's out there in our business?
Well, I think what sets us apart is we've been working together for a long time. Like a couple of them have been with me 7 years, a few have 5 years and 4. And so that purpose of making a positive, lasting difference in those values is just really solid.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore the collaboration is so deeply rooted. That's why it makes a huge difference when working with us. And so we have these clients that have been working with our team for the longest time, and they've sent their I'm aging myself. I've helped the grandfather, the parents, the kids, and all of that. And it's really a community that we've created at Karista Mortgage. It's their friends, their family that we've been helping for a long, long time.
Just on that note, in regards to even like team culture and your community, you mentioned that some of your oldest team members have been with you for around 7 years. So I think you touched on this earlier, but how do you reinforce your team's culture? Like how do you emphasize those feelings of them staying with you and your company?
I love how you say that. So when I say core values, during our meetings, sometimes the focus is gifts of appreciation. So how does that look like? You appreciate a teammate, and then a lot. What action or what did that teammate do that exhibited that core value? So, for example, you wouldn't think this makes a difference, but it does. Like, oh yeah, this person made a difference to me just by bringing me sharing her lunch with me, or this person showed excellence through caring when they brought lunch for me, or this person exhibited excellence through caring when I wasn't here because something happened with my dad, and this person reached out and called me and went out of their way, like little things like that. And so when I hear those things, and when the teammate hears those things, it's so easy. All you have to do is multiply what works. So here, listen to what makes a difference to each person, and then keep doing that. Yeah. And so that has helped. That has helped a lot, because we got to know each other very, very well with that action alone. So gifts of appreciation during meetings. That has been the one key thing, because it's personal, right? It has nothing to do with tactic or productivity or all of that streamlining, because that is handled on a regular basis. But the emotions of excellence or caring, or humble confidence, where you showed humble confidence when you shared with me that you needed my help. You didn't pretend that, or you showed humble confidence when you told me you really didn't understand what I was saying, like stuff like that. I think that makes a difference with like connection and personal relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
So we always wrap up with the 5 rapid fire questions, and we would love to ask you if you have a few more moments with us.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
No pressure. No pressure.
Nothing to do with your team or anything. If you were stranded on a deserted island, what are the 3 things you would bring with you?
My iPad. Things, not people, right? Things.
Anything. It could be anything.
It could be any 3 things. You could bring your husband if you want.
Okay. Oh, my husband is a thing. So of course, if people is included in that, it'll be my husband and my 2 kids, but that's too easy.
Okay.
And that's boring. So I think it will be my iPad, because it has all my books and I love reading. And then the next thing would be, holy cow, this is hard. It'll be my, you know what? It will just be either my iPad, my cell phone.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
Maybe some water. Okay, next question. Next question. You're buying an investment property today. Would you do a fixed rate or a variable?
I would do a fixed rate. I would do a 3-year fixed rate right now, because I believe that by doing that, I could purchase a property at this great price. And then I believe it's still going to go up in 3 years, and I can refinance that to a better rate and purchase another one.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I was on a variable, and I kept asking my mortgage broker if I should switch to a fixed rate. And then, time passes, you get busy, and now it's dropping. So I'm actually cool. I'm fine that I didn't switch it over.
Well, I'm so glad you asked that, because when rates are going up, people hate us. Now people love us. Like, we are smart.
Just like the real estate values, actually.
Yes. Our home equity line of credit still a good idea to utilize with the higher rates in place?
It depends. If what do you really want? Like if you have a bit of cash only and you want to invest, then a home equity line of credit is still a great solution for you, because what's the alternative? Not do anything. I think the opportunity cost in that is a lot worse. People focus too much on the cost, not the opportunity cost and the return on investment.
I like that a lot.
You sound like a real estate agent.
Yeah.
You should. Yes, Tony.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm just making a note here. It was good.
We always encourage our listeners to make notes, but we're always making notes too at the same time.
That was a good point. Okay. Next question. one inspirational leader or figure, dead or alive, that you would like to chat with for an hour?
Uh, Wayne Dyer.
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
so
Wayne
good.
Dyer.
Mm.
I can't believe I didn't come across him until he's gone. I would have wanted to attend his event, live event. He's an amazing man. I think spiritually, he's just a brilliant, like he's hit a level of spirituality that I'm not so sure if I will be able to achieve in this lifetime. So I admire him so much.
Yeah. You mentioned that you like to read a lot. So what's your favorite book?
Well, The Power of Intention by Wayne Dyer. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Another one to add to my list.
And we already sorry, that was the last question, but we know that we already asked, where can our listeners find you if they want to connect for either mortgage advice, become a client, attend a webinar, to tap into your knowledge. So give it again just for our listeners who are listening today.
Yes, so please go to www.karista.ca, and that's how you'll learn more about us. Or you could go to, we're available where you can see us on Facebook, Instagram, like all over social media. And if you want a personal, send me a personal email, just send me a personal email at blaxamana@karista.ca. And mention Tony and Jenny's name. Then it'll be like, okay, special people.
Thanks, Bernadette.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much. We
It's nice to
appreciate
see
you.
you.
And we'll hopefully be able to have some coffee very soon.
Yes, I enjoyed this time together. It's nice to not have to worry about what to say and to have this freedom. So you guys made it so welcoming and warm and just accepting of me. So you are an amazing host, being able to pull all of this from me without me having to feel self-conscious at all. So thank you.
Awesome.
And don't forget to pick up her book, guys, Ordinary Partners or Extraordinary Wealth.
Actually, we're going to be giving a book away.
Oh.
You sent me a book. We're going to be giving it away.
Okay.
And so we'll give the details of that later.
No, I think that
now.
anybody who is listening to this episode, especially now that we're at the very tail end of the episode.
Yeah.
If you're screenshotting that you are listening to this video, the first person to do that, Tony is going to mail out the book to you guys.
And they're going to tag us, right? And also
us, yeah.
Karista Mortgage. Okay.
Yes.
Go. Ready, set, go.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks, Bernadette.
Thank you.